My mother-in-law's sharp voice drowned out the clatter of dishes in our Portland dining room. Laura, you call this dinner? It's barely edible. Beatrice, confined to a wheelchair since a stroke 8 years ago, waved her fork at the lasagna I'd spent hours preparing. My husband, Nathan, barely looked up from his phone, muttering, "She's right, Laura. You've had all day." I bit back a retort, my hands trembling as I cleared the plates. For 7 years, I'd been a full-time caregiver to Beatrice and our son, Ethan, living off Nathan's grudging $2,000 monthly allowance, a sum he treated like a king's ransom. "I'll do better tomorrow," I said quietly, though my mind screamed, "I'm done begging." 7 years ago, I was a high school teacher in Salem, earning my own salary, grading papers under the Oregon pines. I loved shaping young minds, but when Nathan's tech startup took off, he convinced me to quit. "Stay home, Laura," he'd said. "Manage the house, look after Mom, raise Ethan. I'll handle the money." Naive, I agreed, believing I'd be the heart of our home. Instead, I became a servant, begging for every dollar. Today, Ethan, now 6, tugged my sleeve. "Mom, can we get ice cream?" His hopeful eyes broke me. "Not now, sweetie," I whispered. "We'll wait for Daddy's money." His nod, so understanding, twisted the knife deeper. We weren't poor. Nathan's startup cleared $80,000 monthly, but I was penniless without his approval. I sent Nathan a text, "Honey, can you transfer this month's expenses? Ethan wants ice cream, and I'm out." No reply. I tried again, mentioning Ethan. A voice message came, Nathan's tone sharp, "Stop pestering me, Laura. I'm swamped. I'll send it later." Reassured, I started prepping dinner, but mid-chop, Ethan ran in, pale and clutching his stomach. "Mom, I feel sick." Panic surged as he vomited. I rushed him to the hospital, but Nathan still hadn't sent the money. With only $12 in my account, I couldn't cover the $50 copay. Desperate, I called him. He answered, furious, "I told you I'm busy. You're like a leech. I'll send it when I can." He hung up, leaving me stunned in the hospital corridor, tears streaming. How had I fallen so far? I grew up in Eugene, raised by a single mom who taught me resilience. She'd say, "Laura, your strength is your own, never let anyone take it." I was sharing this story in my mind, hoping Ethan would inherit that grit. If you're reading this, I hope it resonates. Maybe like, comment, or subscribe to keep this journey growing. It's a tale of reclaiming power, and your support helps it reach others. Back then, I met Nathan through a college friend. His ambition charmed me, and we married fast, moving to Portland to live with Beatrice. Her stroke had left her temper fierce, scaring off hired help. Nathan asked me to quit teaching to care for her and our newborn Ethan, promising his full salary. At first, he delivered, but soon, he claimed expenses, client dinners, networking, whittling my allowance from $6,000 to $2,000. Now, he delayed even that, leaving me powerless. At the hospital, I borrowed $100 from a friend to cover Ethan's medicine. Back home, Beatrice was awake, furious. "Where were you?" "I'm starving," she barked, ignoring Ethan's pale face. Nathan wasn't home, but Beatrice's tirade continued, "You're useless, Laura. No dinner ready? Nathan deserves better." Her words, once cutting, now slid off me. 7 years of her insults had numbed me. Early in our marriage, I'd run to Nathan, crying over Beatrice's barbs. He'd soothe me with trinkets, never confronting her. "Her stroke makes her cranky," he'd say. "Be patient for me." So, I endured, swallowing my pride. At dinner, I tried again. "Nathan, can you send the $2,000? I need groceries." He smirked, "You women have it easy, lounging while I slave away. Do you know how hard I work?" Beatrice chimed in, "Exactly. My son's killing himself, and you're begging for more." I clenched my fists. I'm budgeting tightly. $2,000 barely covers food, utilities, Ethan's needs. Nathan slammed his fork down. "Not enough? How much more, you greedy leech?" Then Beatrice crossed a line, "And that spoiled boy of yours, wasting money on ice cream? Save it for Nathan." Fury erupted. "Enough!" I shouted, flipping my plate. "Nathan, you act like $2,000 is millions. I beg because you don't send it. I had to borrow for Ethan's medicine today. You begged me to quit teaching to care for your mother. I didn't choose this." Turning to Beatrice, I let years of rage spill. "And you, complaining I spend Nathan's money? I'm here because of you. A caregiver for you costs $5,000 monthly, I do it for $2,000, and you call me useless? You should be grateful." Nathan roared, "Laura, have you lost it?" I glared back. "No, I'm clear-headed. I'm done begging, done managing this house, done with your mother. We'll split Ethan's care. Let's see you cope." Ethan, watching, whispered, "Mom, you're awesome." I hugged him, tears falling. If I work, I'll have less time for you, I said. He smiled. I'm 6, Mom. I'll be okay at school. His courage fueled mine. That night, I stopped all housework. I expected Nathan and Beatrice to last a week. They didn't make it past midnight. Nathan knocked, holding a check. Here's $2,000. Mom had an accident, clean it up. Beatrice's wheelchair-bound condition meant constant care, especially with her incontinence. I pushed the check back. No more of your money, Nathan. I'll earn my own. You handle your mom. He scoffed, ungrateful. Fine, $4,000 this month. Just clean it. I returned the check. Figure it out. Fuming, he stormed off to deal with Beatrice's mess, cursing under his breath. The next morning, Nathan was gone, likely to work. Beatrice's voice echoed. Lazy woman. Sleeping in? Make breakfast. I laughed coldly. Beatrice, I'm not your servant anymore. Your son can deal with you. Her confidence wavered. She knew Nathan's impatience. She softened. Laura, don't be rash. Couples share duties. Nathan works hard, you manage the home. I'll scold him for delaying the money. Her flattery was pathetic after years of abuse. I made breakfast for Ethan and me, ignoring Beatrice's growling stomach. You heartless woman, she screamed. Starving me? Blame your son, I said. He left you alone. I took Ethan to Nathan's office, a sleek tech hub. His face darkened. Laura, you didn't make mom breakfast? What's wrong with you? I stood firm. I told you, I'm done. Today, you take Ethan. Ethan ran to him. Daddy, your turn. Nathan snapped. A child at work? Are you insane? Your problem, I said, leaving. At a staffing agency, my teaching background and caregiving experience impressed them. 2 interviews later, they promised housekeeping jobs paying $6,000 monthly. Walking out, I felt alive. I'd rather work for strangers who valued me than beg Nathan again. The Portland morning was gray, rain pattering against the windows of our home as I sipped coffee, ignoring the chaos I'd unleashed. Yesterday's defiance, dropping Ethan at Nathan's office and refusing to care for Beatrice, felt like a spark that could ignite my life again. At 7 a.m., I heard Beatrice's voice, shrill through the walls. Laura. Get in here. I didn't move. Ethan, eating cereal, looked up. Mom, is Grandma mad? She'll be fine, I said, ruffling his hair. Finish your breakfast. My phone buzzed with a text from Nathan. You left Ethan at my office? I had to send him home with a colleague. Fix this, Laura. I ignored it, focusing on the staffing agency's email confirming 2 housekeeping interviews today, each offering $6,000 monthly. Freedom was close. 7 years ago, I'd traded my Salem classroom for this house, believing Nathan's promise of partnership. Now, his $2,000 allowance, down from $6,000, came with strings, each delay a reminder of my dependence. Last night, Nathan had stumbled through Beatrice's care, cursing as he changed her soiled sheets. He thought I'd cave by morning, but I was done. Beatrice's shouts grew louder. Laura, you lazy woman. I need my pills. I poured Ethan's juice, unmoved. Her stroke had made her dependent, but her cruelty was her own. Mom, Ethan said, are you going to work like Daddy? Soon, I smiled. We'll have our own money. His grin fueled my resolve. At 8 a.m., I dressed for my interviews, choosing a blazer from my teaching days. Beatrice wheeled into the kitchen, her face red. You're ignoring me? Nathan's at work, and I'm starving. Your son can handle it, I said, grabbing my keys. I told him I'm done. Her eyes widened. You can't abandon me. Couples share duties, Nathan earns, you care for the home. Her sudden plea echoed Nathan's excuses, but years of her insults, calling me useless, mocking my cooking, drowned it out. Beatrice, I said, you've got Nathan. Good luck. She sputtered, he's too busy for me. Then, maybe you shouldn't have raised him to think he's above it, I replied, ushering Ethan out. I dropped Ethan at school, his backpack bouncing. Have fun, Mom, he said, hugging me. My heart swelled, he was my anchor. At the staffing agency, the first interview was a breeze. My teaching experience and years managing Beatrice impressed the recruiter. You're overqualified for housekeeping, she said, but we have a family needing a live-in caregiver for their elderly father. $6,000 a month, starting next week. I nodded, envisioning a life where I didn't beg for Ethan's ice cream money. The second interview, with a wealthier client, offered $6,500 for similar work. Your patience with a difficult in-law is an asset, the manager said. I left with 2 offers, my confidence soaring. Back home, Nathan's car was in the driveway. Inside, he was arguing with Beatrice. Mom, I can't miss work to feed you. Beatrice snapped, if Laura wasn't so selfish, we wouldn't be in this mess. I walked in, and Nathan turned, furious. Laura, you left Mom alone? She could have fallen. You left her, I corrected. I told you I'm done. Ethan ran to his room, sensing the tension. Nathan's voice dropped, this tantrum's gone far enough. Take the $2,000 and get back to work. He waved a check. I pushed it back. I'm getting a job. You deal with your mom. His jaw tightened. Ungrateful. Fine, $4,000. Just stop this. I tore the check. Solve it yourself. Beatrice gasped, Laura, you're heartless. I turned to her. Heartless? I've cared for you 7 years, taken your abuse, and begged for $2,000 while Nathan makes $80,000 a month. A caregiver costs $5,000, I'm a bargain, and you call me useless? Nathan shouted, enough. You're embarrassing yourself. No, I said, you're embarrassing yourself, thinking you can buy me back. I grabbed my laptop, checking. Job confirmations. Nathan scoffed, a job? With your outdated skills? Good luck. I've got 2 offers, I said. Housekeeping, $6,000 a month. More than you give me, and with respect. His face fell, but he recovered. A maid? That's beneath you. Beneath me? I laughed. Earning my own money beats begging you. You begged me to quit teaching, Nathan. This is on you. Beatrice chimed in, you'll regret this, Laura. Nathan's the provider. Then let him provide for you, I said, heading to Ethan's room. Nathan followed, lowering his voice. Laura, let's talk. I'll raise it to $5,000. Just help Mom. Too late, I said. You figure it out. I packed Ethan's lunch for tomorrow, ignoring Nathan's pleas. By noon, he left for work, muttering about hiring help. Beatrice wheeled after him, whining, don't leave me with her. I smirked, she knew I wasn't budging. I cooked lunch for Ethan and me, leaving Beatrice to fend for herself. She glared, her stomach rumbling. You're starving me. Your son's the provider, I said, echoing her words. Call him. She dialed Nathan, but he didn't answer. Her panic grew, she wasn't used to being ignored. I took Ethan to the park, letting the house stew. When we returned, Beatrice was disheveled, her pills untouched. Laura, please, she begged. I'm sorry. I'll be kinder. Her crocodile tears didn't move me. Tell it to Nathan, I said, helping Ethan with homework. That evening, Nathan stormed in, livid. Mom's a mess because of you. I had to leave a meeting early. Good, I said. Maybe you'll learn what I've done for 7 years. He threw a new check, $5,000, on the table. Take it and stop this nonsense. I slid it back. I start work next week. You're on your own. He scoffed, a maid's salary won't keep you in this house. I don't need your house, I said. I'll find my own. His eyes narrowed. You're bluffing. You can't survive without me. Watch me, I said, turning. Away. At bedtime, Ethan hugged me. Mom, are we leaving? Maybe, I said. But we'll be okay. He nodded, trusting me. My phone pinged, a job confirmation for the $6,500 caregiver role, starting Monday. I'd care for an elderly man with dementia, a challenge I was ready for after Beatrice. Nathan's voice broke my thoughts. Laura, Mom's had another accident. I pointed to the laundry room. You know where the supplies are. He cursed, stomping off. Beatrice's wails echoed, but I felt nothing. Their chaos was their own making. By Saturday, the house was a wreck, dishes piled, laundry undone. Beatrice's complaints grew desperate. Laura, I can't live like this. Then talk to your son, I said, packing for Ethan's weekend soccer game. Nathan hired a temporary aide for $3,000 a week, but I knew Beatrice's temper would drive them off. As I left with Ethan, Nathan grabbed my arm. This isn't over, Laura. I pulled free. It is for me. Driving away, I felt the weight of 7 years lift. Portland's rain glistened, a promise of a new start. I'd rebuild my life. Dollar by dollar, and Nathan would learn what he'd lost. The Portland drizzle hadn't let up by Monday morning, matching the storm brewing in our household. I woke at 6 a.m., my resolve hardened after a weekend of Nathan's futile attempts to guilt me back into my old role. Beatrice's complaints had echoed through the house, unwashed dishes, missed medications, her constant demands unmet. Nathan, scrambling to manage her while juggling his tech startup, had hired a temporary aide for $3,000 a week, but I knew Beatrice's sharp tongue would drive them away. Today, I'd start my first trial shift as a caregiver, earning $6,500 a month, more than Nathan's begrudged $2,000 allowance. I was done being their servant. Ethan stirred as I packed his school bag. Mom, are you working today? He asked, rubbing his eyes. Yes, sweetie, I said, kissing his forehead. I'll pick you up after school. His smile was my fuel. 7 years ago, I'd left my teaching job in Salem to care for Beatrice and Ethan, believing Nathan's promise of financial security. Instead, I'd become a beggar in my own home, scraping by on $2,000 while Nathan's startup raked in $80,000 monthly. His delays in transferring the money, sometimes days, sometimes weeks, left me powerless, unable to buy Ethan's medicine. Or even ice cream. Now, I'd take back control. Beatrice wheeled into the kitchen, her face sour. "Laura, you're leaving me again? I haven't eaten." "Call your aide," I said, pouring Ethan's cereal. "Or Nathan." Her eyes narrowed. "You're cruel, abandoning a sick woman." "Cruel?" I snapped. "I've cared for you 7 years, taken your insults, and begged for scraps. A caregiver costs $5,000 a month, I did it for less, and you called me useless." She flinched but doubled down. "Nathan's too busy for this. You're his wife." "Not his maid," I said, grabbing my keys. Ethan hugged me, and we left. Beatrice's shouts fading behind US.AT. The staffing agency, my new employer, Miss Carter, greeted me warmly. "Laura, you'll be caring for Mr. Ellis, a dementia patient. He's difficult, but your experience with your mother-in-law makes you perfect." The job paid $6,500 monthly, with a trial shift today. I nodded, ready to prove myself. Mr. Ellis, a retired professor, was cantankerous but manageable. I navigated his mood swings, administered his meds, and cooked a light lunch, earning a nod from his daughter. "You're a natural," she said. By 3 p.m., I'd aced the trial, securing the job. Driving to Ethan's school, I felt a rush. My first paycheck would be mine, not Nathan's charity. Back home, the house was chaos. The aide had quit, unable to handle Beatrice's tirade over a cold soup. Nathan was on a call, ignoring her shouts. "Laura, where are you? I need my bath." I walked past, helping Ethan with homework. Nathan ended his call, furious. "Laura, the aide's gone because you abandoned Mom." "You hired her," I said. "Maybe pick someone who can handle her." He waved a check for $5,000. "Take this and stop this nonsense. We need you." I laughed, tossing it back. "I start my job tomorrow, $6,500 a month. You manage Beatrice." His jaw dropped. "A maid? You're throwing away our marriage for that?" "Marriage?" I said. "You mean servitude. You begged me to quit teaching, Nathan. I've got offers now, real pay, real respect." Beatrice wheeled in, desperate. "Laura, I'm sorry. I'll be nicer. Just help me." Her fake tears didn't sway me. "Tell Nathan," I said. "He's your provider." I cooked dinner for Ethan and me, leaving them to fend for themselves. Beatrice's stomach growled, Nathan's face reddened. "This is ridiculous," he muttered, dialing another aid agency. I smirked, knowing no one would last with Beatrice's venom. Tuesday, I dropped Ethan at school and headed to Mr. Ellis's home. His daughter briefed me, "He's stubborn, but you handled him well yesterday." I spent the day organizing his meds, calming his outbursts, and even getting him to smile over a chess game. By 5 p.m., I felt accomplished, valued for my work, not degraded. At home, Nathan was home early, looking haggard. "Another aide quit," he said. "Mom's impossible." "Sounds familiar," I said, setting out Ethan's dinner. Beatrice wheeled in, disheveled. "Laura, please, I haven't eaten properly." "Ask Nathan," I replied, unmoved. He snapped, "You're tearing this family apart." "No." I said, "You did, treating me like a leech for 7 years." Nathan tried a new tack. "Fine, $6,000 a month. Just come back." I shook my head. "My job pays more, and they don't insult me." He stormed out, leaving Beatrice to beg. "Laura, I was wrong. You're good at this. Stay." "Too late," I said. "You and Nathan made your bed." I tucked Ethan in, his trust in me unwavering. "Mom, you're strong," he whispered. I hugged him, my resolve ironclad. My phone pinged, a confirmation for a second job offer, $6,000 monthly, as a backup. I'd never beg again. Wednesday brought more chaos. Nathan, overwhelmed, had taken a day off, but Beatrice's demands were relentless. "Laura, my sheets are filthy," she wailed. "Hire another aide," I said, heading to work. Mr. Ellis greeted me with a gruff, "You're back," but softened when I helped him with his journal. His daughter offered a $500 bonus for my patience, cementing my value. At home, Nathan was on the phone, begging an agency for a third aide. "They want $4,000 a week," he muttered. "Can't afford this." I shrugged. Should have valued me when I was free. By Thursday, the house was a disaster, laundry piled, trash overflowing. Beatrice's complaints had turned to pleas. "Laura, I'll pay you myself." "With what?" I asked. "Nathan's money? I don't need it." Ethan and I ate takeout I'd bought with my trial shift pay, a small victory. Nathan, defeated, tried one last plea. Laura, I'll give you $7,000 a month. Full control of the account. Just stop this. I looked at him, calm. I've got a job. You've got a mom. Figure it out. He slammed the door, leaving Beatrice to cry alone. Friday, I excelled at work, earning praise from Mr. Ellis's family. Nathan hired another aide, but Beatrice's tantrum drove them off by noon. He texted, Laura, this isn't working. Let's talk. I ignored it, focusing on Ethan's school play that evening. Watching him perform, I felt a pride Nathan couldn't touch. Back home, Beatrice was silent, her spirit broken by her own dependence. Nathan approached, softer. Laura, I'm sorry. I didn't realize how much you did. You didn't want to, I said. I'm done carrying you both. As I tucked Ethan in, I knew the next days would test Nathan's limits, and my strength. Portland's rain fell, but I saw clear. Skies ahead. Portland's rain had turned to a steady downpour by Saturday morning, mirroring the chaos in our home. I woke at 5:30 a.m., energized by my new job as a caregiver for Mr. Ellis, earning $6,500 monthly, more than Nathan's stingy $2,000 allowance. Over the past week, I'd stopped all housework, refused to care for Beatrice, and left Nathan to juggle his mother's demands with his tech startup. The house was a wreck, dishes stacked, laundry festering, and Beatrice's aides, hired at $4,000 a week, quit one after another, unable to handle her venom. Today, I'd focus on Ethan and my work, letting Nathan face the consequences of undervaluing me. Ethan padded into the kitchen, rubbing his eyes. Mom, is Daddy taking me to soccer? He's supposed to, I said, packing his gear. Nathan had promised to step up, but his haggard face last night told me he was cracking. 7 years ago, I'd left my teaching career in Salem to manage this household, believing Nathan's vow to provide. Instead, his $2,000 monthly transfers, down from $6,000, came with delays and disdain, leaving me to beg for Ethan's needs. Now, earning my own money, I felt alive. Beatrice's voice pierced. The quiet, Laura. I need my meds. I ignored her, pouring Ethan's juice. Her stroke made her helpless, but her cruelty was her choice. Nathan stumbled in, I ask you. Laura, Mom's aide quit again. You need to help. No, I said, handing Ethan his backpack. You hired them. You fix it. His eyes blazed. You're destroying this family. You did, I replied. 7 years of treating me like a leech while I raised Ethan and cared for your mom. Beatrice wheeled in, disheveled. Laura, I'm suffering. Be a wife. I'm not. Your nurse, I said. Nathan's your provider. She turned to him, desperate. Do something. Nathan threw up his hands. I'm trying. I can't miss work. I grabbed my keys. Ethan's soccer's at 9 o'clock. Don't be late. At Mr. Ellis's home, I dove into work, soothing his dementia-fueled outbursts and organizing his schedule. His daughter, Miss Carter, praised me. Laura, you're a godsend. He's calmer with you. I smiled, valued for my skills. By noon, I'd earned another $100 bonus, a stark contrast to Nathan's grudging handouts. Driving to Ethan's game, I checked my phone. Nathan hadn't texted. At the field, Ethan ran up, frowning. Dad didn't come. Coach brought me. My heart sank, but I hugged him. I'm here now, sweetie. Nathan's neglect was piling up, and I'd make sure he felt it. Back home, Nathan was on a call, ignoring Beatrice's wails. Laura, my sheets are soiled. I walked past, helping Ethan with his cleats. Nathan ended his call, livid. You left Ethan at soccer? I was swamped. You promised to take him, I said. Just like you promised to provide for me. He waved a check for $6,000. Take this and stop this rebellion. Mom needs you. I tore it up. I make more now, Nathan, $6,500 a month, with respect. His face fell. A maid's job? You're embarrassing us. No, I said, you're embarrassing yourself, thinking money buys me back. Beatrice begged, Laura, I was wrong. I'll treat you better. Her tears were hollow after years of insults, calling me lazy, mocking my sacrifices. Tell Nathan, I said, cooking for Ethan and me. Beatrice's stomach growled, Nathan's patience frayed. This is insane, he muttered, dialing another agency. I smirked. They'd burn through $20,000 monthly before finding anyone to endure Beatrice. Ethan whispered, Mom, are we okay? Better than ever, I said, hugging him. My job stability gave me power Nathan couldn't touch. Sunday. I took Ethan to the zoo, using my trial pay. His laughter over the penguins was a bomb. At home, Nathan had hired another aide, but Beatrice's tirade, over a lumpy pillow, sent them packing by lunch. He confronted me, exhausted. Laura, I'm drowning. Mom's impossible, and work's falling apart. Sounds tough, I said, folding Ethan's clothes. Maybe you should have valued me. He tried a softer approach. I'm sorry. I'll give you $7,000 a month, full account access. Just come back. No, I said. I've got a life now. You deal with yours. Monday, I excelled at work, earning Mr. Ellis's rare smile with a story I read him. Ms. Carter offered a permanent contract, with a $200 raise to $6,700 monthly. Your family now, she said. I signed, my independence sealed. At home, Nathan was home early, arguing with Beatrice. Mom, I can't keep missing meetings. She snapped, if Laura wasn't so selfish, I'd be fine. I walked in, and Nathan pleaded, Laura, I'll double it, $8,000. Please. My job pays better, I said. And they don't call me a leech. Beatrice wailed, I'm dying without you. Then hire someone, I said, unmoved. Tuesday. The house was unlivable, trash bags piling, Beatrice's room reeking. Nathan's latest aide lasted 3 hours before quitting. He texted, Laura, we need to talk. This isn't sustainable. I ignored it, focusing on Ethan's homework. At dinner, I served Ethan and me, leaving Nathan and Beatrice to scrounge. You're heartless, Nathan said, grabbing bread. No, I replied, I'm free. You made me beg for $2,000 while you earned $80,000. Now you know what I carried. Beatrice's pleas turned shrill, Laura, I'll pay you. With Nathan's money? I laughed. I don't need it. Wednesday, Nathan took Ethan to school, a rare effort. At work, I handled Mr. Ellis's worst outburst yet, calming him with a photo album. Miss Carter marveled, Laura, you're worth every penny. I left feeling unstoppable. Home was worse, Beatrice hadn't been bathed in days, and Nathan was on his 5th aid call. They want $5,000 a week, he groaned. We're broke. Should have paid me fairly, I said, packing Ethan's lunch. He grabbed my arm. Laura, I'm begging. I'll give you everything. I pulled free. Too late. I've got everything I need. Thursday, Ethan's teacher called. Nathan had forgotten pickup. I left work early, furious. At home, Nathan was on a video call, Beatrice screaming in the background. Laura, help, she cried. Not my job, I said. Comforting Ethan. Nathan ended his call, defeated. I lost a client today because of Mom's noise. I'm sorry, Laura. I was wrong. Prove it, I said. Handle your mom and Ethan without me. He nodded, but I knew he'd fail. Beatrice's wails grew desperate, but I felt nothing. My job, my son, my future, they were mine. Friday, I received my first paycheck, $1,625 for the week. I bought Ethan ice cream, his joy of victory. Nathan hired another aide, but Beatrice's insults sent them running. He approached, voice low. Laura, I'll sign over half my salary. Just help us. No, I said. I'm building my life now. As I tucked Ethan in, he whispered, Mom, you're my hero. Portland's rain fell, but I saw a clear path. Nathan's world was crumbling, and I was rising, stronger every day. The Portland skies were heavy with clouds on Saturday morning, a fitting backdrop to the unraveling chaos in our home. I woke at 5 a.m., my resolve unyielding after 2 weeks of refusing to manage Beatrice's care or the household. My job as a caregiver for Mr. Ellis, paying $6,700 monthly, had given me a taste of independence, a stark contrast to Nathan's begrudged $2,000 allowance. The house was a disaster, trash bags piled in corners, Beatrice's room reeking of neglect, dishes untouched for days. Nathan's attempts to hire aides, now costing $5,000 weekly, had failed, each one driven off by Beatrice's relentless insults. Today, I'd focus on Ethan and my work, letting Nathan drown in the mess he'd created. Ethan shuffled into the kitchen, clutching his stuffed dinosaur. Mom, is Dad taking me to the museum today? He said he would, I replied, packing his backpack. Nathan's promises were thinning, his exhaustion palpable after juggling Beatrice and his $80,000 a month startup. 7 years ago, I'd abandoned my teaching career in Salem to become a full-time caregiver, trusting Nathan's vow to provide. Instead, his $2,000 transfers, down from $6,000, came with delays and scorn, forcing me to beg for Ethan's medicine. Now, my paycheck was my power, and I'd never go back. Beatrice's voice cut through the quiet. Laura. I haven't eaten since yesterday. I poured Ethan's cereal, unmoved. Call Nathan, I said, checking my work schedule. Her wheelchair's wheels screeched as she rolled in, disheveled and furious. You're killing me, Laura. A wife doesn't abandon her family. I'm not your servant, I snapped. 7 years of your abuse, begging for $2,000 while Nathan hoards $80,000? A caregiver costs $5,000 monthly. I was a steal, and you called me worthless. She recoiled but pleaded, Nathan's overwhelmed. Be our wife. He's your son, I said, grabbing my keys. Ethan's museum trip is at 10 o'clock, Nathan. Don't flake. At Mr. Ellis's home, I navigated his dementia with ease, calming a rant about lost books with a photo album. His daughter, Miss Carter, handed me a $200 bonus. Laura, you're a miracle, she said. I left at 3 p.m., my confidence soaring. At the museum, Ethan's teacher called. Nathan hadn't shown up. Ethan waited alone, his face falling until he saw me. Mom, he hugged me. Dad forgot. Fury surged, but I smiled. Let's explore together. We wandered through dinosaur exhibits, his joy a shield against Nathan's failures. Back home, Nathan was arguing with Beatrice. Mom, I can't keep missing work. She wailed, if Laura wasn't so selfish, I'd be clean. I walked in, Ethan trailing. Nathan turned, livid. You didn't remind me about the museum? I was dealing with Mom's mess. You promised, I said. Like you promised to provide for me. He waved a check for $8,000. Take this and end this madness. Mom's falling apart. I tore it up. I earn $6,700 now, Nathan. With respect. You handle Beatrice. His eyes widened. A maid's job? You're humiliating us. Humiliating? I laughed. Earning my own money beats begging you. You made me quit teaching. Nathan. This is your mess. Beatrice sobbed, Laura, I'm sorry. I'll be kind. Just help. Her tears were crocodile tears after years of venom, calling me lazy, mocking my sacrifices. Tell Nathan, I said, cooking for Ethan and me. Beatrice's stomach growled. Nathan's patience snapped. This is absurd, he muttered, dialing another agency. I smirked. They'd spend $25,000 monthly before finding anyone to endure Beatrice. Sunday, I took Ethan to the park, my paycheck covering his hot chocolate. His laughter warmed me against the chill. At home, Nathan's latest aide had quit after. Beatrice threw a cup at her. He confronted me, haggard. Laura, I lost a $50,000 deal because of Mom's noise on a call. I'm begging, $9,000 a month. Come back. No, I said, folding Ethan's clothes. My job values me. You didn't. Beatrice wheeled in, desperate. Laura, I'll pay you myself. With what? I asked. Nathan's money? I'm done with it. Ethan whispered, Mom, are we leaving? Soon, I said, hugging him. On Monday, I excelled at work, earning Mr. Ellis's rare chuckle with a chess game. Ms. Carter raised my pay to $6,900 monthly. You're indispensable, she said. At home, Nathan was home early, Beatrice's screams echoing. Laura, the aides won't stay. I'm out of options. Hire better, I said, helping Ethan with homework. He pleaded, I'll give you $10,000, full account control. Please. My job pays enough, I said. And they don't insult me. Beatrice wailed, I'm dying here. Then talk to your son, I replied, unmoved. Tuesday, the house was a biohazard, spilled food, soiled linens, Beatrice's room unbearable. Nathan's fifth aide quit after 2 hours. He texted, Laura, I'm sorry. Let's fix this. I ignored it, serving Ethan dinner. Beatrice begged, Laura, I'll do anything. Too late, I said. Nathan tried again at bedtime. I didn't realize how much you did. I'll change. Prove it, I said. Handle Beatrice and Ethan without me. He nodded, but his eyes betrayed doubt. Ethan hugged me. Mom, you're awesome. My heart swelled. I was his hero. Wednesday, Nathan took Ethan to school but forgot his lunch. I dropped it off. My work schedule tight. At Mr. Ellis's, I managed a severe outburst, earning another $100 bonus. Home was worse, Beatrice hadn't been fed, and Nathan was on his 6th aide call. They want $6,000 a week, he groaned. We're bankrupt. Should have paid me fairly, I said, packing Ethan's bag. He grabbed my arm. Laura, I'm begging. I'll sign over half my salary. I pulled free. I don't need it. I've got my life now. Thursday, Ethan's teacher called. Nathan had left him at school late. I rushed over, furious. At home, Beatrice's screams drowned Nathan's video call. Laura, help, she cried. Not my problem, I said, comforting Ethan. Nathan ended his call, broken. I lost another client. I'm sorry, Laura. I was wrong. Then fix it, I said. Be a son and father. Beatrice's pleas turned hysterical, but I felt nothing. My job, my son, my future, they were mine. Friday, my second paycheck, $1,725, hit my account. I bought Ethan a dinosaur model, his eyes lighting up. Nathan's latest aide quit after Beatrice's tantrum over a slow bath. He approached, voice low. Laura, I'll give you everything, $12,000 a month. Just save us. No, I said. I'm saving myself. As I tucked Ethan in, he whispered, Mom, you're my favorite. Portland's rain pounded, but I saw sunlight. Nathan's empire was crumbling, and I was building. Portland's relentless rain battered the windows on Sunday morning, a fitting echo of the storm consuming our household. I woke at 5:15 a.m., my resolve fortified by 3 weeks of independence. My caregiver job for Mr. Ellis, now paying $6,900 monthly, had freed me from Nathan's degrading $2,000 allowance. The house was a wasteland, rotting food, unwashed linens, Beatrice's room a health hazard. Nathan's attempts to hire aides, now at $6,000 weekly, had collapsed under Beatrice's vicious outbursts. He was unraveling, missing work and losing clients, while I thrived, prioritizing Ethan and my new life. Today, I'd let Nathan face the full weight of his neglect. Ethan tiptoed into the kitchen, clutching his dinosaur book. Mom, can we go to the library today? Absolutely, I said, packing his bag. Nathan had promised to take Ethan last week but flaked, leaving me to cover his failures. 7 years ago, I'd traded my teaching career in Salem for this prison, believing Nathan's pledge to provide. His $2,000 transfers, down from $6,000, came with scorn, forcing me to beg for Ethan's needs while his startup earned $80,000 monthly. Now, my paycheck was my shield, and I'd never bend again. Beatrice's voice shattered the calm. Laura, I'm filthy. Help me. I poured Ethan's juice, ignoring her. Call Nathan, I said, checking my work schedule. Her wheelchair screeched as she rolled in, eyes wild. You're a monster, Laura. I'm dying. You're alive. I snapped. 7 years I cared for you, took your insults, begged for $2,000. A caregiver costs $5,000 monthly, I was a bargain, and you called me useless. She sobbed, Nathan can't do this. Be a wife. I'm not your slave, I said, grabbing my keys. Nathan's your son. Ethan's library trip is at 11 o'clock. Don't forget, Nathan. At the library, Ethan's joy over a new dinosaur book warmed me. My phone buzzed. Nathan, Laura, Mom's aide quit. I can't work like this. Help. I ignored it, reading to Ethan. 7 years of his neglect had taught me resilience. At Mr. Ellis's Monday shift, I handled his worst tantrum yet, calming him with a song. Miss Carter, his daughter, gave me a $300 bonus. Laura, you're irreplaceable, she said. I left work soaring, my $6,900 salary a testament to my worth. At home, Nathan was arguing with Beatrice. Mom, I can't keep missing deadlines. She wailed, Laura's fault. She's heartless. I walked in, Ethan trailing. Nathan turned, desperate. Laura, I lost a $60,000 contract today because of Mom's screaming. Take this, $12,000 a month. He waved a check. I tore it up. I earned $6,900, Nathan. With respect. You handle Beatrice. His face crumpled. A maid's job? You're destroying us. No, I said, you did, making me beg while you hoarded $80,000. I'm free now. Beatrice begged, Laura, I was wrong. I'll be kind. Please. Her tears were empty after years of venom, calling me lazy, mocking my sacrifices. Tell Nathan, I said, cooking for Ethan and me. Beatrice's hunger was palpable, Nathan's patience gone. This is madness, he muttered, dialing another agency. I smirked, they'd burned through $30,000 monthly before anyone stayed. Tuesday, I dropped Ethan at school and excelled at work, earning Mr. Ellis's rare smile with a puzzle. Miss Carter offered a $200 raise, bringing my pay to $7,100 monthly. At home, Nathan's sixth aide had quit after Beatrice's rant over a slow bath. He pleaded, Laura, I'm bankrupt hiring aides, $15,000 a month, full control. Come back. No, I said, helping Ethan with homework. My job values me. You didn't. Beatrice wailed, I'm starving. Ask your son, I replied, serving Ethan dinner. Nathan grabbed bread, furious. You're tearing us apart. You built this cage, I said. I'm out. Portland's rain had softened to a mist by Monday morning, but the storm in our home raged on. I woke at 4:45 a.m., my resolve a steel core after 4 weeks of defiance. My caregiver job for Mr. Ellis, now paying $7,100 monthly, had liberated me from Nathan's humiliating $2,000 allowance. The house was a disaster zone, moldy dishes, soiled linens, Beatrice's room a health hazard. Nathan's desperate hires, now costing $7,000 weekly, crumbled under Beatrice's relentless abuse. His startup, once earning $80,000 monthly, was hemorrhaging clients due to his absence. Today, I'd accept Ms. Carter's live-in offer at $7,600 monthly, securing a new life for Ethan and me. While Nathan faced his reckoning, Ethan stirred as I packed his school bag. "Mom, are we moving soon?" he asked, clutching his dinosaur model. "Yes, sweetie," I said, kissing his forehead. "A better home, just us." His smile was my anchor. 7 years ago, I'd left my teaching career in Salem to care for Beatrice and Ethan, trusting Nathan's promise of security. Instead, his $2,000 transfers, down from $6,000, came with delays and disdain, forcing me to beg for Ethan's medicine. Now, my paycheck was my power, and I'd never look back. Beatrice's voice pierced the dawn. "Laura. I'm starving. Help me." I poured Ethan's cereal, unmoved. "Call Nathan," I said, checking my work email. Her wheelchair screeched as she rolled in, face gaunt. "You're killing me, Laura. A wife doesn't abandon her family." "I'm not your servant," I snapped. 7 years of your venom, begging for $2,000 while Nathan hoards $80,000? A caregiver costs $5,000 monthly. I was a steal, and you called me worthless." She sobbed. "Nathan's failing me. Be our wife." "He's your son," I said, grabbing my keys. "Ethan's school play is at 6 o'clock, Nathan. Don't miss it." At Mr. Ellis's home, I managed his confusion with a story, earning a rare smile. Ms. Carter finalized the live-in offer, $7,600 monthly, Laura, and Ethan's welcome. I signed, my future secured. "You're a blessing," she said. I left work at 4 p.m., my heart light. At Ethan's school, his teacher called. Nathan hadn't shown up for the play rehearsal. Ethan waited, eyes dim until he saw me. "Mom," he hugged me. "Dad forgot." Fury surged, but I smiled. "I'm here, sweetie." Nathan's neglect was a pattern, and I'd expose it. Back home, Nathan was arguing with Beatrice. "Mom, I can't keep losing clients." She wailed. "Laura's fault. She's cruel." I walked in, Ethan trailing. Nathan turned, broken. "Laura, I lost a $70,000 deal today because of Mom's screaming. Take this, $20,000 a month." He waved a check. I tore it up. "I earned $7,100, Nathan, with respect. You handle Beatrice." His voice cracked. "A maid's job? You're destroying our family." "No," I said, "you did, making me beg. While you earned $80,000. I'm free." Beatrice begged. "Laura, I was wrong. I'll change. Please." Her tears were hollow after years of insults, calling me lazy, mocking my sacrifices. "Tell Nathan," I said, cooking for Ethan and me. Beatrice's hunger was stark, Nathan's patience gone. "This is insanity," he muttered, dialing another agency. I smirked. They'd spend $35,000 monthly before anyone stayed. Tuesday, I dropped Ethan at school and thrived at work, calming Mr. Ellis with a chess game. Miss Carter gave a $200 bonus. "Laura, your family," she said. At home, Nathan's 7th aide quit after Beatrice's rant over a cold meal. He pleaded, "Laura, I'm bankrupt, $25,000 a month, full control. Come back." "No," I said, helping Ethan with homework. "My job values me. You didn't." Beatrice wailed, "I'm dying." "Ask your son," I replied, serving Ethan dinner. Nathan grabbed scraps, furious. "You're tearing us apart. You built this hell," I said. "I'm out." Wednesday, Nathan forgot Ethan's lunch again. I dropped it off, my schedule tight. At work, I handled Mr. Ellis's worst outburst, earning a $150 bonus. Home was unlivable. Beatrice hadn't been bathed in a week, and Nathan was on his 8th aide call. "They want $8,000 a week," he groaned. "We're ruined." "Should have valued me," I said, packing Ethan's bag. He grabbed my arm. "Laura, I'll give you half my company, $40,000 monthly. Please." I pulled free. "My $7,100 is mine, earned with dignity." Beatrice sobbed. "Laura, I'll pay you." "With Nathan's money?" I laughed. "I'm done." Thursday. Ethan's teacher called. Nathan left him at school late. I rushed over, livid. At home, Beatrice's screams drowned Nathan's video call. "Laura, help," she cried. "Not my job," I said, comforting Ethan. Nathan ended his call, tears streaming. "I lost my biggest client, $120,000. I'm sorry, Laura. I was wrong." "Prove it," I said. "Be a son and father." He nodded, but his defeat was clear. Beatrice's pleas turned frantic. "Laura, I'm begging." "Too late," I said. Ethan whispered, "Mom, are we safe?" "Always," I said, hugging him. Friday, my 4th paycheck, $1,775, hit my account. I bought Ethan a dinosaur puzzle, his joy a triumph. At work, Mr. Ellis called me friend, a milestone. Ms. Carter confirmed my move-in date, next week, $7,600 monthly. At home, Nathan's latest aide quit after Beatrice threw a book. He approached, voice low. Laura, I'm done. I'll sign over my salary, $80,000 monthly. Save us. No, I said. I'm saving Ethan and me. Beatrice wailed, I'm dying without you. Hire help, I replied, unmoved. Saturday, I took Ethan to a science fair, my paycheck covering entry. His excitement over a volcano model was my reward. At home, Nathan was broken, Beatrice's room a biohazard. Laura, my startup's collapsing. I'm sorry. I'll change. Too late, I said, folding Ethan's clothes. Beatrice begged, Laura, I'll do anything. You did enough, I said. 7 years of abuse while I begged for $2,000. I'm done. Nathan tried again. My entire company, $100,000 monthly. Just help. No, I said. My $7,100 is enough, earned with respect. Sunday, Nathan forgot Ethan's soccer game. I rushed to the field, livid. At home, Beatrice's screams disrupted Nathan's call. Laura, please, she cried. Not my problem, I said, comforting Ethan. Nathan ended his call, sobbing. I'm losing everything. I didn't know your worth. You chose ignorance, I said. Be a son and father, or lose it all. As I tucked Ethan in, he whispered, Mom, you're my hero. My phone pinged, Miss Carter's move-in. Details, $7,600 monthly, ready for next week. Portland's mist cleared, revealing my path. Nathan's empire was dust. The Portland mist had lifted by Tuesday morning, revealing a city sparkling with possibility, much like my new life. I woke. At 4:30 a.m., my heart steady after 5 weeks of unyielding resolve. My caregiver job for Mr. Ellis, now paying $7,600 monthly as a live-in, had freed me from Nathan's degrading $2,000 allowance. Today, Ethan and I would move into Miss Carter's home, leaving behind the chaos of Nathan and Beatrice. Their house was a ruin, moldy dishes, reeking linens, Beatrice's room a biohazard. Nathan's startup, once earning $80,000 monthly, was collapsing, his $8,000 weekly aid hires failing under Beatrice's venom. My new home awaited, and I'd never look back. Ethan bounced into the kitchen, clutching his dinosaur puzzle. Mom, are we really moving today? Yes, sweetie, I said, packing his toys. A fresh start. His grin was my strength. 7 years ago, I'd left my teaching career in Salem to care for Beatrice and Ethan, trusting Nathan's promise of security. His $2,000 transfers, down from $6,000, came with scorn, forcing me to beg for Ethan's needs. Now, my $7,600 salary was my power, earned with respect. Beatrice's voice echoed, Laura. I'm starving. You can't leave. I ignored her, zipping Ethan's bag. Call Nathan, I said, checking my move-in details. Beatrice wheeled in, face haggard. You're abandoning us. A wife stays. I'm not your servant, I snapped. 7 years of your abuse, begging for $2,000 while Nathan hoarded $80,000? A caregiver costs $5,000 monthly, I was a bargain, and you called me worthless. She sobbed, Nathan's useless. Save me. He's your son, I said, loading the car. Nathan stumbled in, eyes bloodshot. Laura, I lost my company, $200,000 in contracts gone. Take $50,000 monthly. Come back. I laughed, tossing his check. I earned $7,600, Nathan, with dignity. You handle Beatrice. At Miss Carter's, Ethan marveled at our new room. Mom, it's huge. I hugged him, my heart full. I settled. Mr. Ellis with a story, earning his rare smile. Miss Carter handed me a $300 bonus. Laura, your family. I left work at 4 p.m., Ethan's school pickup smooth. Back at Nathan's, I packed our last boxes. Beatrice wailed, Laura, I'm dying. Hire help, I said, unmoved. Nathan pleaded, I'll give you everything, $100,000 monthly. No, I said. I've got my life. Ethan whispered. Mom, are we free? Yes, I said, kissing him. Wednesday, I thrived at work, calming Mr. Ellis's outburst with a photo album. Miss Carter raised my pay to $7,800. You're a godsend, she said. At Nathan's, a neighbor texted, Beatrice's 9th aide quit after a thrown mug. Nathan was broken, his startup bankrupt. He texted, Laura, I'm sorry. I'll change. I ignored it, cooking for Ethan. Thursday, Nathan forgot Ethan's science fair. I rushed over, livid. At home, Beatrice's screams drowned Nathan's call. Laura, help, she cried. Not my job, I said, comforting Ethan. Nathan sobbed, I'm nothing without you. You chose that, I said. Friday, my fifth paycheck, $1,950, hit. I bought Ethan a dinosaur book, his joy my triumph. At work, Mr. Ellis called me. Dear, a milestone. Ms. Carter offered a $500 bonus for our move-in. At Nathan's, Beatrice's room was unlivable, Nathan on his 10th aid call. They want $9,000 a week, he groaned. Should have valued me, I said, packing the last box. He grabbed my arm. Laura, I'll sign over the house. I pulled free. I've got a home now. Beatrice begged, Laura, I'll die. Then talk to your son, I replied. Saturday. I moved our final belongings. Nathan appeared, defeated. Laura, I'm selling the house to pay debts. I'm sorry. You made this mess, I said. Beatrice wailed, you're heartless. No, I said, I'm done with 7 years of your venom. Ethan hugged me. Mom, we're okay. We drove to Ms. Carter's, our new home. Sunday, a neighbor called, Beatrice had a breakdown, Nathan hospitalized for stress. I felt a pang but no regret. My life was mine. Months later, Nathan's startup folded. He moved Beatrice to a facility, costing $10,000 monthly. I thrived, earning $7,800 and raising Ethan in peace. A year later, Beatrice passed, leaving Ethan a small inheritance. I sold her house, splitting the $300,000 with Nathan legally. He tried to reconnect, but I shut him down. I'm done, I said. Ethan and I built a new life, his dinosaur obsession thriving. From Ms. Carter's window, Portland's skyline glowed. I'd risen from Nathan's ashes, my strength unyielding. This story's been my heart poured out, a journey from Salem's classrooms to Portland's trials, reclaiming my worth. If it moved you, please like, comment, or subscribe. It helps this tale of resilience reach others, growing our shared story of triumph.